Hi, I'm Cami from Core by Cami. Today we're going to do a mat workout. You can grab your ankle weights or arm weights as optional. I have my ankle weights on, but don't have my arm bands on, so whatever works for you. If you don't have a mat, you can grab a towel, a kid's play mat if you have children, or I'm going to be using my tower bed today. So we're going to go ahead and start seated. I want your feet a little bit shoulder width apart, just naturally relaxed. I want you to stack your spine tall, shoulders down and back. Your ribs are here. I want you to place your hands in between your hips and your ribs here. We're going to inhale as your ribs expand. Exhale as your ribs cinch closer together. Inhale as they expand. Exhale. And we're moving here to get that mind-body connection started, connecting to our core and using our breath. The deeper you breathe through your exercises, the more you connect to your core and the more mind-body connection you'll have. Your breath is really important. Going for 2 more. Last one. Now we're going to go ahead and lie down. If you have your ankle weights on, you can put them on now if they're not already on. And I'm going to have you start lying down. Your shoulder blades are into the mat. Fingertips are extended long. Feet are about shoulder width distance apart. We're going to go into some bridging here. Take an inhale. Exhale as you lift up. Exhale as you lower down. And we're going into a hinge bridge here. So instead of focusing on that articulation, our back is moving as one whole unit with our pelvis. Your bridge may be higher than mine today. I'm still working on getting my range of motion back postpartum, so my bridges are a little bit smaller. Yours may be even smaller or they may be bigger. Everyone's range of motion is different. So we're going here for 2 more. And on this next one, I want you to hold it all the way up. And when you're holding it all the way up, I want you to go onto your tippy toes. That should give you a little bit more of an angle to lift your hips even higher, just a few inches up. And we're holding here. I want you to lower your right heel to the mat and then lift it. Then lower your left heel to the mat and lift. And we're going to continue here, alternating on each side. You can place your hands on your hip bones. I want you to try to keep your hips in the same plane. So making sure one hip isn't going down as those heels lower down. We're really making an effort to keep them in that same plane. That's going to require a little bit more work from the hamstrings and from that smile line where your glute and your hamstring meet. We're going for a few more here. This is likely stretching out your knees, so you'll feel that as well. You want to make sure you're still breathing here. We're going for 4 on each side. 3, 2, and last one. Hold both heels up. Doing small pulses up an inch, down an inch with those glutes for 5, 4, 3, 2 more. Hold at the top. I want you to slightly open your knees to the sides and back in. Open, close. You should feel that in your outer thighs, outer glutes. Keep trying to keep your hips up. Going for 5, 4 more. Keep breathing. Keep those hips up. Keep those glutes engaged. Those heels are up. Hips are lifted. You're so strong. You got this. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take an inhale. Exhale as you lower down. Go ahead and get a figure 4 stretch. So bring your left ankle across that right thigh, and then you can lift that foot up in the air and hug your knee closer to your chest. Breathe. And we have a special guest appearance from Moki. And we're going to switch sides. And now you can relax both feet on the mat. Take an inhale, exhale as you sit all the way up. So we have a special guest appearance from Moki. So we're going to go into some side lying work here. You're going to have your forearm on the mat, and you're going to have your hips stacked, shoulders stacked. I want you to really think of hollowing out your armpit here to keep that lat engaged. Your legs are stacked on top of each other. And you're going to take that top leg and extend it long. Make sure your hips don't roll back, so actively keep them engaged and stacked. We're going to lift and lower here. Pointing through that toe, lifting a few inches up and lowering down. I have it easy because I have my foot bar there to help guide me as to how high or low I should be going. But try to make sure that you stay within a reasonable range of motion for your body, and that your leg isn't scooping all the way down and you're losing that form, but you're rather keeping that leg engaged. Hollowing out through that armpit, keeping those bottom obliques up and active. We're going for 3, 2, and 1. Bend that leg into 90 degrees. Press it out, flexing through that foot so you can see all of your toes facing towards your face. And you're trying to keep this leg in the same plane. So making sure your leg isn't down here or up here. It's in the same height as your hip. Same plane. Keeping those obliques active, keeping your breath engaged. Going for 5, 4, 3 more, 2, and 1. Hold. We're holding here for 3, for 2, and 1. Go ahead and lower down. We're going to get the opposite side here. So we're going to switch sides. Forearm is down, hips are stacked, feet are stacked. Go ahead and extend that top leg long. Make sure your hips are still stacked, and we're lifting and lowering. Trying to keep that bottom oblique up and active. That armpit hollowed out. Lifting and lowering with control. Making sure you're not sinking into that shoulder where you're pressing out. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now we're going to bend in, press out. Bending that top leg into 90 degrees and pressing, stamping that heel towards the opposite side of the room. Quite frankly, I find mat Pilates much more difficult than reformer, which is how it was intended. So you should be getting a little bit of a burn here, especially if you have those ankle weights on. For 3 more, 2, and 1. We're holding here, leg extended, long for 5, 4, 3 more, 2, and 1. Go ahead and lower down. Whew. Go ahead and shake it all out. Now we're going to come back to a lying position. We're going to go into a little bit of abdominals here. So I want you to start with bringing your legs into a tabletop position. So you want to make sure that your knees are over your hips. They're not close to your face, they're not away, but they're at that 90-degree bend. Your legs can be slightly apart or glued together. Mine are naturally going to be a little bit apart because of the ankle weights. When you're ready, take an inhale. Exhale as you dip one foot closer to the ground and lift it up. I need to scoot back just a bit. Once you're there, keep going. Dipping that foot towards the mat, lifting it up and switching sides. Exhaling as that foot dips, inhaling to bring it back up. These are called toe taps. I like to keep my hands on my belly so that, again, I remember to breathe and I remember to keep my core engaged. You want to make sure that your spine stays neutral so your back isn't lifting and arching and lowering and doing all sorts of things, but you're trying to keep it in the same place. So think about that blueberry underneath your lower back. You want to keep that blueberry intact, whether it's smushed or not smushed, you want to keep it intact. Going for 3, 2, and last one on each side. And then we're going to go back to that tabletop and hold. From here, option to curl up through your head, neck, and chest. We're going to extend one leg long, bring it to center, extend the opposite leg long. We're going for single leg stretch here. Exhale as you extend that leg. Inhale as you bring it back. Keeping that core engaged. Now you're really smushing that blueberry underneath your lower back. Going for 5. I like to keep my elbows wide so that I'm not curling in and I'm really focusing on my core, recruiting the majority of the muscles here. My head is just lying in my hands. We're going for 3. 2 more. Going for 3. 2 more. And last one. Extend. Bring your knees into your chest. Rock your knees from side to side. Take an inhale. Exhale. And rock all the way up. So here is where, if you have your ankle weights, you can move them to your hands. We're going to go into a little bit of arm work here. This is going to be a burner. You don't have arm weights. You can grab water bottles. You can grab other type of weights if you have them. You can grab wine bottles. Anything to give you a little bit of resistance. So I'm going to sit crisscross applesauce with my spine stacked tall. A modification here is keeping your legs on the mat, or you can sit in a Z-sit, whichever is most comfortable. If you're sitting in a Z-sit, just make sure halfway through you switch to the opposite side. So when you're ready, take an inhale, exhale. We're going to go over the moon and then bring it back down. We're hugging a moon and bringing it down. I want you to try again, keeping the core connected, using your breath. Your shoulder blades are sliding down and back as your arms come up. Actually, as your arms come down, they're sliding down and back. And they're still engaged. As you lift, going for 5. And you want to really picture yourself in between 2 planes. So your arms aren't up here or back here. You're really between 2 window panes here. And your arms are lifting and lowering. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower down. Shake it out. Now, I'm going to have you go into a kneeling position. This is really great to strengthen your knees, strengthen your quads, and then also to strengthen your arms. So when you're ready, you're sitting in this high kneeling position. We're going to start with your fingertips long by your sides, and you're going to inhale, exhale, arms come up. Inhale, exhale, arms come up, glutes go towards those heels. You really want to think of yourself just sitting, hovering right on top of your glutes, hovering on top of those heels. So they're not really touching, they're just hovering. You may get some knee pops. Feel those stretches in your knees. My knees have already popped a couple times. For 3 more. 2. Last one. Flip those palms. Palms are facing away from your body as you lift up and lower down. Lifting those arms up as you exhale, inhaling as your glutes come up. Going for 3, 2, and last one. Now, your hands are facing the midline of your body. We're going to continue here in those little squats. Lowering, lifting, now your arms are opening up to a T. Make sure you stop at that T position. You don't go much higher. We're just working to that T right now. Still using your breath. Going for 4, 3, 2. This one's going to burn. We're going to hold. You're holding that hover. You're holding that T. I want you to give me small pulses up and down, up and down for 3, 2, and 1. Ooh, shake it out. We're going to go into a cat-cow here, so go ahead and sink that chest towards the mat. Inhale, exhale as you round through your spine, bringing eyesight to the thighs. Inhale, drop that chest to the mat. Exhale, rounding that spine out. Go ahead and we're going to get a quick stretch here. So I want you to go ahead and come to a seated position. We're going to go into a Z-sit here. And okay. I'm going to go ahead, chest to the mat. Exhale as you bring your eyesight to thighs. Going for 2 more. And now you're going to bring your right foot up to your hand, your right hand, right foot to right hand, and you're going to extend your left leg back a little bit, and your feet, the top of your foot is going to rest on that mat. It's going to be a really great stretch for the hip here. We're holding. You're more than welcome to take these armrests. It's off as you're in this position. Take an inhale. Exhale. If it's available to you, I want you to take that right hand and reach it up to the ceiling. Breathing through it. Bring that hand back. You're going to really sink those hips back. This leg should feel really nice stretch underneath or in the back. Go ahead and bring it back. We're going to switch sides. Your left foot comes up by your left hand. You're holding the stretch here, breathing it out. You can always press on that knee a little bit to give you a little bit of a deeper stretch and sink those heels closer, or hips closer to the mat. Fingertips are wide and long, getting that blood flow in them. If it's available to you, your left arm is going to go up to the ceiling. Give me a few breaths here. And we're going to send those hips back. Ooh, feeling that stretch behind our hamstrings. Take an inhale. Exhale. Go ahead and bring those legs back. We're going to go into a seated position here. And then from here, we're going to go ahead and bring that leg back. And if you take your arm weights off, that's totally fine. We're going to work on a little bit of a balance challenge here. So you're on all fours again. I want you to extend your right arm long as your left leg goes back. You're holding here. I want you to make sure your hip isn't up like that. You want to pretend you have two headlights on your hips and they're both shining towards that mat. Arms extended long, leg is long, toes are pointed, fingertips are reaching to the opposite side of the room. We're holding. You're still breathing, focusing on that hip staying down towards the mat. We're breathing for 3, 2, and last one. This feels so good to connect the core. Go ahead and lower down. We're going to switch sides. Left arm goes long, right leg goes long. We're holding. You're pressing out through that armpit of that stabilizing arm. Your hips are both facing towards that mat. Your neck is in line with spine, so try to keep it in line. Going for 3 more breaths. Knitting those ribs closer together as you exhale. Those ribs go apart as you inhale. 2 more. Last one. Go ahead and lower down, shake it all out. And from here, we are going to do one final plank challenge to get everything connected, everything that we worked on today, and then we'll be done. So go ahead and roll those wrists out. Hands on the mat, legs extend long. You're holding in a plank. Breathing in, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Bring those hips up towards the ceiling and then back into that plank. Holding, breathing. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, so those hips go back as if you're doing a downward dog. And then you're going into a plank for 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and lower those knees. We're going to go into a Z-sit to do a final mermaid stretch. Place that hand on the mat. Your right hand on the mat. Legs are in that Z-sit. Your right foot is up against that left thigh. Inhale, exhale as you reach over. Reaching, reaching, reaching. Feeling that stretch your oblique. Opposite side. Then try not to fall forward. Staying in between those 2 window panes. Opposite side. Whew. We're gonna switch sides. Exhaling as you reach over. Going for 3, 2, and last one. Thank you all so much for joining me today, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have a great rest of your day.